Hello, folks. Alina Phoenix here with an energy update. Woke up this morning feeling a bit odd, like everything in the world is changing, and I kind of just almost want to hit a reset button and start everything over from scratch. And it's just a very odd feeling that makes me a little anxious. And I imagine I'm not the only one out there that's feeling this intense urge to change just about everything. And so I thought I'd get out my handy dandy little prism oracle and do some card pulls because I would really like to know what's going on. How are you? All right, so we're going to do a general check-in. And so the general check-in is a 5-card pull. And this is the one that I do most frequently. This is the deck that I use most frequently. When I post this video, I'm going to post a link to this deck on Amazon so that you can get it for yourself. This is my favorite deck because it's simple and it is highly intuitive and it has yet to lead me wrong. So when it comes to the general check-in, we have energy on its way out. And so the energy on its way out is sweetness. Sweetness is on its way out. And so let us look up what that means exactly, because this seems a little odd. This card is a signal to savor the sweet moments in life and to remember them when things get rough. The small things in life are often the sweetest, but they easily go unnoticed. Sweetness is always there if you look for it. So, what does this feel like it means that this is the energy that's moving out? This is an energy that feels like things are accelerating. This feels like, maybe instead of stopping to smell so many roses, that it's time to get off our butts and get something done. That while we don't want to ignore those little good things in life, we also don't want to get lost in them or use them as a reason to not make the changes that we need to make. So that's the information that's coming through. Sweetness is moving out, so more important change can move in. So now energy coming in. We have cleanse. Talk about a reset button. So cleanse. What does this card have to say to us? Cleansing is a beautiful way to show love and appreciation for yourself, your belongings, and your space. It is wiping away the dust and grime to reveal the shine underneath, bringing in a new sense of calm, ease, and clarity. When this card comes up, ask yourself what could use a little cleansing? How can you give yourself and your space and your life a bit of extra love? Well, that seems to go right along with the information that came through about the sweetness moving out and this big feeling of change that I woke up with this morning. So, energy coming in is cleansing, and cleansing isn't always comfortable, especially when it is um, urging us to let go of things that we might have held on to for sentimental reasons or for traditional reasons. Just because something has always been done that way or something has always been there in our experience doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it belongs, doesn't mean that it is honoring of us and deserving to be brought forward. And sometimes those are the things that are hardest for us to let go of. I know in my own life, the energy that I am most working on letting go of is a tendency to abandon myself in favor of pleasing and taking care of others. That's something that I've done as a way to stay safe, as a way of trying to manipulate others to like me and want me around. And this is a behavior that has attracted a lot of energy vampires into my life. And it is a old habit that just doesn't belong anymore. and learning how to hold appropriate boundaries, learning how to honor myself in equal measure to all of the other people that I care about, learning how to not go directly into that fawning state whenever I meet someone new is something that I am very much practicing. And it is a practice, and I am getting a bit better, a little more every day, but cleansing this pattern out of my life has been an incredible challenge, is a not entirely comfortable thing. And so just wanting to share that cleansing, while this can bring more ease and grace and balance, oh my gosh, it is not always comfortable, because sometimes the things that we need to get rid of are the people, places, things, behaviors, and habits that just aren't serving us anymore, that are actually to our detriment, even though we're comfortable there, even though we've always been that way, always. All right, the lesson that we're learning right now, growth. Oh, it's so much fun to grow, isn't it? As individuals and as humanity. Just the most pleasant thing. All right, so growth. This card speaks to the transformational qualities of nature and its ability to softly grow and change throughout time. We are constantly growing and shifting throughout our lives. True growth means that you're moving towards your ultimate truth and the highest version of yourself. Sometimes growth is painful. What was I just talking about? And you need to prune to make way for new blossoms. Remember, this is just part of the process, and you're making your way towards your own sacred truth. And so again, this goes back to that cleansing card. We are in the process of wiping away and getting rid of things that do not serve us. And again, this is making way for us to bring forth the more beautiful, the brighter, the best versions of ourselves, our society, our humanity. And this is not entirely a comfortable process. It reminds me of that story or meme I saw. So they buried me in darkness. They didn't realize I was a seed. And so oftentimes, as we are sitting there and struggling through this dark period in our lives, what this is actually forcing us to do is to stretch and to grow and to become something greater than what were before. It's encouraging us to come out of that shell of the seed and turn into a seedling, and then a plant, and then a bloom, and then perhaps whatever else that is going to be. So I love that analogy. All right, advice from our higher self. Trust. Oh, talk about a word that I have a little bit of difficulty with. Can't imagine why. Life and people have always been such a trustworthy thing. Oh, and so many times when I'm going within and I am asking my guides for advice, for wisdom, for help, they tell me, relax, trust, surrender. And I'm like, don't y'all know those words make my butt clench? Like, I don't know how to do that. What I know how to do is do. And I just had a session for myself yesterday, and she was telling me how my nervous system is just continually in a state of fight and flight, and that I almost don't even know how to come out of it, because when I finally do come out of it, I just kind of collapse into a heap of exhaustion. And so, what we were working on is trying to help myself find a balance point, a point of neutrality in between, where my nervous system isn't fully activated, but it's also not fully shut down, so that I can find that balanced place of being able to move forward with trust, and to know that I am safe on the inside. And so this is the advice from our higher self. When this card comes up in a reading, it is a sign to start trusting yourself. We often seek advice from outside sources and the people we trust. The reality, though, is that most of the time, deep down inside, we already know what we need to do. Have the confidence to trust in yourself and your own sense of self governance. Ultimately, you can make your own decisions. Talk about a card that's both for me and probably for whoever else is out there watching this. I bet that message is for you too. So, final card, the outcome of this period in life is movement, movement. So, I don't know about you, but I've been feeling stuck. I've been feeling a little bit stagnant. I've been feeling like I'm dissatisfied with a lot of different things in my life. And I have been actively working on changing some things. And so when this card comes up in a reading, it symbolizes that it is time to take action and proceed on your journey and make plans, taking action towards them. Taking these actions can be scary or anxiety producing, but sometimes you need to just stop thinking about things so much and do them. This card means that the time is now, and all signs say go. Oh my goodness gravy. What what a message for us today. I definitely have some things that I am taking action on for sure, and some more plans that are in the works. And this is kind of, for me personally, a confirmation that it is time to start taking some more positive, concrete actions on those plans. So, what this might look like for you and what it's going to look like for me are probably different. But I know that in terms of actually taking action, I personally feel like I need to take some steps first. Maybe write down some things, get a plan on paper, think out some options, and weigh the pros and cons between these different options before I fully commit. Make sure that I've got the resources set aside so that when I do finally move forward and take these steps on the real world level, that I know that I'm supported and you know that I've planned for some eventualities. So thank you again to my lovely Prism deck for another powerful reading. I'm also feeling like Cryon is coming in with some messages for us. And so I have the Cryon Oracle cards here. So we are going to pull a couple of cards from this deck, and we're going to see how many want to bring forth messages. So I'm just going to shuffle this deck 3 times because 3 is catalyst. 3 is something that inspires change. So there's our third shuffle, and now I'm going to cut the deck. And so our first card coming up is Divine Wisdom. Divine Wisdom. All right, so getting out my book here. So Divine Wisdom says, what if you don't have to be reborn again and again, but instead you simply awaken to the wisdom of the past? It would be wisdom that you did not develop in this lifetime, but rather a wisdom that has come from the many lifetimes over and over that you have already lived. Cry on. From Lee Carroll. I feel this is the greatest axiom or paradigm of the new energy we are in. Cryon is starting to teach that we are in a new energy where we can awaken to the past. It would be like suddenly you remember everything you had learned as an old soul from lifetimes of learning and experience. Odd as this may sound, I see it almost every week within the seminar attendees I meet. Person after person tells me that they have just realized something wise within themselves and are going to act on it. They tell me it's like they were reborn into another world. They somehow recognize that they know more than they should, even start guiding others with good advice. This is what Cryon has been speaking of regarding the attributes of the old soul, the ability to awaken to greater truths which seem to be remembered. Divine wisdom is the design, and we have all participated in experiences that have created it. Now we are asked to share it. Within our Kosh, within our DNA, is a library of information. This DNA has been looked at by science, and they have termed more than 90% of what they see to be quote unquote junk DNA. And yet, new perspectives are coming in. Linguists are actually looking at the DNA and seeing that it's actually like a language there. And this language tells the story of us, and we are only just learning to decode it. Inside of our DNA, inside of our Akash, is the record of every single lifetime that we have lived and all of the ancestors that have come before us. We also have a lot of overlap between these two things, as a soul has a tendency to reincarnate many times within the same family lineage. Souls tend to travel in groups together and learn lessons together over many lifetimes before moving on and changing. So it's very, very interesting to me because in the work that I do a lot of ancestral work. Past lives often come up. And the one thing that I have learned is whatever you're going through in this life right now, it didn't start with you. It may feel like we are going through this individual singular journey cut off from everything else, and that our life is just our one singular life, and that's all we get. And this is the story that is often told to us by many cultures, traditions, and religions, but that is far from the case. When you start working in energy and start gaining access to the Akash, you learn through experiences, both that you have yourself and also that you have with beautiful souls that come to work with you, that we have, in fact, been here over and over and over again. And we can actually open that door and access that wisdom inside of us. And so I invite you, if you feel called to access a greater level of that wisdom inside of you, first of all, you don't need anyone else to facilitate that. All you've got to do is start going within. Say, I give permission for the wisdom that I have accumulated in my Akash to come forward more and more each day with pure intent. Say that. And miracles will start to happen. Doors will start to open. If you feel like you want someone to hold your hand and you would prefer some outside confirmation of the things that are happening inside of you, I and many others like me are happy and available to facilitate those kind of experiences. And it never fails to amaze me when I do ancestral healings, when I do past life healings, how much that information is so relevant to the person that I am working with. And so please, if you feel like you want help, you want someone to guide you, to walk with you a little bit on this path as you are learning to discover all of the wisdom inside of you, I would be honored to be part of your healing journey. Please reach out. My website is Phoenix Healing Creations, or you can send me an email at phoenix.healing@yahoo.com. All right, let's do another card from Cryon. Increasing your light. Increasing your light. Oh, what a beautiful thing. So, the brighter your light, the less darkness can be around. Oh, Cryon, I love that. How can I make my light brighter? That's easy. It's by not fearing the dark. Cryon. From Lee Carroll. From the very beginning, channelings of Cryon, the dark light metaphor has been taught. The biggest paradigm that Cryon wishes us to really understand is that the definition of light is the absence of dark. The definition of dark is that which happens when there is no light. Cryon teaches light is active and dark is passive. This means that the very creation of light voids the darkness. There is no such thing as creating darkness. Instead, it is simply that which happens when there is no light, as defined above. So, the practical lesson is this: when we start to manifest joy and compassion in our lives, we automatically activate a light machine that does not allow darkness into our lives. The opposite is also true. When we doubt and expect negative things, we create a darkness that will cooperate with this exact thing. Cryon tells us that we have free choice to create whatever energy we wish. It's like placing an order in a restaurant. It's that powerful. What you say and what you think creates a reality around you that is real. It can shorten your life or extend it. It can bring you joy or fear. This card not only reminds you of your light, but its message is to tell you that your light is increasing exponentially more than ever before because of the new energy that has been birthed on this planet. Increasing your light is the design of this new energy. I love this so much. This is something that I am experiencing more and more for myself. When I talk about some of those things that I have been working on changing for myself, I realize that those roots of people pleasing have so much roots in the darkness inside of myself, in feeling unworthy, unloved, unwanted as a child. And then as I grew, I created stories inside of myself to explain to myself why I was unworthy, unloved, and unwanted. And then I would act in ways which would confirm these stories. And it would cause other people to react to me in ways that would confirm my stories. And this was a self defeating, self created loop. And I am waking up out of that now. And on the other side of this is a life that I enjoy. I like my life now. I do things every day to take good care of myself, to demonstrate that I am worthy, I am loved, I am wanted, first and foremost by myself. And the more that I treat myself this way, the more that I keep attracting people that are treating me in ways that align with that. And this is not to say that you're not allowed to have a bad day or down feelings or so on and so forth. So many people want to term those things darkness. But the thing of it is, all energy moves in a wave. All light moves in a wave. It oscillates, it gets brighter and darker. There's going to be peaks and valleys, and our emotions are energy in motion. That is our body, our endocrine system, our nervous system reacting to our thoughts, our circumstances, everything going on, the field around us. And so, whatever you are experiencing, the story that we tell ourselves about what we are experiencing is what is going to determine whether that is light or whether that is darkness. So, one of my favorite perspectives comes from Matt Kahn. There is no such thing as a low vibration emotion. There is only a slow vibration emotion. So, when we are in a less preferred emotional state, we need to ask ourselves a couple of questions. Do I need more support? Do I need to change something? Do I need to just sit with this feeling as it passes? And the more that we can give ourselves love and support through those feelings, the more that we can pay attention to what needs to be changed in our life, whether that is what we're thinking, our circumstances, our relationships, the more that we can tune into those signals from the inside of us, our emotions are sacred messengers, the more aligned we are with the light inside of us. So that is a much better way to relate to our emotions rather than thinking these things are dark and these things are light and I only want to ever be in light and I never want to be in dark. Well, all things are a cycle. And when we do find ourselves in that dark space, we can bring the light to ourselves by the way that we choose to think about that situation and the way that we choose to support ourselves and the way that we choose to take action about that situation. So it is up to us whether we use that situation as a reason to create more light or a reason to hunker down and wallow in the dark. And I have made both choices. And it's okay. It's okay if you've spent some time wallowing. It's okay if you feel like you're stuck in the darkness. You can always learn to do differently. You can always make a different choice. You can always turn on a light, light a candle, flip the light switch, go outside when it's sunny. The physical attribute of being in a brighter space can even help us to change those thoughts from darkness on the inside of ourselves, because the way that we relate to ourselves through our consciousness is metaphor. So if you feel like things are dark, turn on a light. Turn on a light. All right, one more card from Cryon. Love yourself. Oh, yes, please do. Please do. You are so deserving of it. Love yourself from Cryon. You've got to love yourself first. That's where the compassion starts to be generated, which is so pure. Balance and wisdom show, and it radiates from you. This is how you change the planet. Cryon. From Lee Carroll. As you read my comments within this guidebook, you start to see a common theme. It's common because it's a core truth from Cryon. Nothing is really going to change with you or this planet until you take care of yourself first. Do you get this card a lot? One of the most prevalent attributes of light workers and healers all over this planet is a lack of self-worth. You see, can I say that louder? If you can't love yourself, how do you expect anyone else to love you? Energies that you project will come back at you. So if you don't honor yourself, then others will not honor you. It's difficult to love and appreciate who you are when so much of this planet tells you that you were born dirty, or that you don't matter, or that you are not good enough, or that life itself is cheap. How do we get through that and begin to see ourselves differently? Cryon tells us the truth about who we really are in the following statements. You were born magnificent, and you are here for a purpose. You have the creator inside, and the tools you need to change yourself and those around you already exist within. This is a great card to pull on a regular basis. It reminds us of one of the most basic truths of all. Love yourself, and the things around you will reflect that and move accordingly with that. You are loved and honored by God. Oh, it makes me laugh because isn't that what I was just talking about when we were talking about increasing your light? The stories that I told myself and how the world reflected those stories that I was telling myself back to myself in the low self-worth. And then I created a life for myself that reflected all of that low self-worth. And as I have learned how to value myself more, love myself more, support myself more, honor myself more, life has tremendously changed around me. So I have experienced this for myself. And I also know that sometimes when you've spent so much time in that dark place of feeling not good enough, low self-worth, that it can be a challenge to learn to love ourselves. And if you feel like you need some help with that, please take my hand, and I am happy to support you in this journey as you learn how to love yourself, where I have truly been there. I have been in those darkest of dark places. I literally have attempted to end my life more than once. I spent years hating myself. And it was when I was 44 years old that I got this tattoo right here. And this tattoo is ancient Lemurian for I am here. And this was the commitment that I made to myself, that no matter what happens, I will never again attempt to harm or remove myself from this life for as long as I live. And it took me 44 years to make that decision. So no matter where you are in your journey or how bad you are feeling, please believe me when I tell you I have been there. I have wallowed in those emotions. And it is absolutely possible to come out of that place and to build yourself something beautiful on the other side with your free choice as you learn how to love and honor yourself more greatly every single day. And it's a practice. And it's got to start where you are. It's got to honor where you are. And then we take one step at a time. So please start taking those steps for yourself. No matter where you are, you can love yourself more. No matter what's going on in your life, you can do a greater job honoring yourself. And it's not about being filled with ego and being like, it's about, gosh, maybe I didn't show up in that moment in the way that I would have preferred to. And let me think about perhaps the reasons why that might have been. Let me examine the wounded part in myself that was lashing out that way. Let me give that part of myself that showed up as my less preferred version the love and support that it's never received. It's a step-by-step journey. And we don't just get there overnight. It took years of work for me to get to the point where I can honestly look in the mirror and say, I love you, Alina. I honor you, Alina. I want to be here with you. I love this life. It has gotten to the point where I can say those things and mean them. And that's a beautiful and important place to be. And I invite you to join me here. You totally can. And you are absolutely worth it, magnificent being of light. You are absolutely worth it. And if you don't feel like you can get there by yourself, please let me help you. I can totally take your hand and help you come out of that darkness and find that light of worth inside of yourself in a step by step way. So I do offer a lot of different sessions that are geared towards that step by step process. And I do continue to post helpful content on my YouTube page for free. I occasionally have free events. I do a monthly ancestral healing process where we, at a very affordable rate, go through layers and layers of the things that have been passed down to us that we are still working through. And so to wrap up this little energy update, I want to pull one of these beautiful namaste cards. And so these are cards for self-care and about reducing stress. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle that one time. What is the card that we most need? Crack a routine. We all like established routines that are familiar and efficient. The problem is when we get caught up in the same cycle, we reduce our ability to bring new things into our lives that we can learn from. So crack a routine today. It can be something as simple as how you make breakfast or how you get ready for work. If you want to take it up a notch, try talking to people who you rarely engage with. See if you can cultivate a new relationship. Changing a routine can help bring new wonders into our lives and helps us integrate new perspectives that allow us to learn and grow. And so this is a really important thing. We do tend to be creatures of habit. And when we want to start making those changes in our lives, sometimes it can be difficult to know where to start. And so I would suggest that you start with something very small. For instance, if you always brush your teeth with your right hand, do it with your left hand. If you always take one specific route home from work, take a slightly different route home from work. These things signal to our brains that change is happening, and it helps us to get more comfortable with that process, and it helps to open us up to more possibilities of change. And so start with one small routine. Maybe it's instead of coffee, you have tea. Maybe it's instead of going for a 2-hour television show, you go for a 10-minute walk and then watch your television show. Maybe it's something as small as that. But those small changes, when multiplied by time and distance, become gigantic changes. Even a 1 degree of change when you have a flight that is taking off from one part of the planet and going all the way to the other side of the world. A 1 degree of change is enough to put that plane in a completely different direction. 1 degree of change is all it takes to transform your life. So don't be afraid to start making those small changes. Maybe that change is today you look in the mirror and smile at yourself. Maybe that change is you look in the mirror and say, hey, I like you. If you can't say, I like you, maybe you can just say, you know what? I think you're okay. You're worth being here. I'm here to support you. Saying those things to yourself in the mirror is a small but tremendous change. And so maybe start with that. So thank you so much for spending this time with me today during this energy update. And if you are in a place of struggle and you need some personalized help I am available. I do guarantee all of my work. If what I find in your session is not relevant, I don't want your money. So do reach out, make an appointment. If you need that help, I am here. PhoenixHealingCreations.com. And it is an honor to be a part of your healing journey. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.